Welcome to today's deep dive. We're actually skipping the standard small talk today because we have this massive paradigm shift to talk about. The places you shop are watching you.
Yeah, they really are.
But I want you to erase that classic movie image, a bored security guard staring at a bank of grainy monitors looking for shoplifters.
All pop trope.
Exactly. The reality is so much deeper and honestly so much more fascinating than that. Today, our source material is a project proposal titled The Favorite Insight Framework for Smart Mall Analytics.
It's quite a document.
It completely flips the script on what a physical retail space actually is. The proposal describes a modern shopping mall not just as a static structure of concrete and glass. It explicitly defines the mall as, and I'm quoting here, living ecosystem of human movement, preferences, emotions, and decisions.
That specific phrasing really sets the tone for everything we're going to explore today. It frames the physical building as something almost biological.
A living thing.
Exactly. It's an organism that needs to actively understand what's happening inside its own walls to function properly.
Right. And the mission of our deep dive today is to explore exactly how malls are evolving to fight off the very real pressure of e-commerce. It seems like they're realizing that old school methods, static historical reports, periodic customer surveys.
Or just relying on a manager's gut feeling.
Yeah, that's just not going to cut it anymore. Instead, this proposal details how they're using AI and the Internet of Things, or IoT, to track, interpret, and instantly react to your behavior in real time.
We really have to look at the broader context of why this is happening right now. Malls are operating in an incredibly ruthless era.
Because of online shopping.
Absolutely. E-commerce platforms offer these seamless, hyper-personalized experiences. When you shop online, the platform knows your preferences, your browsing history, what you almost bought.
Right, the abandoned carts.
Yeah. Malls simply can't afford to operate blindly anymore and just hope a big department store brings in foot traffic. To survive, they have to adapt to a model where they can sense, interpret, and respond to human behavior instantly. That's the core engine we're looking at today.
The smart behavior analytics powered by the Favorite Insight Framework.
You got it.
Okay, let's unpack this. The proposal mentions this absolute web of AI-driven analytics across the property. But realistically, what are they actually looking for when you walk through those sliding glass doors? Are they just counting heads at the entrance?
Well, it goes way beyond just counting heads. They are deploying cameras across entrances, main corridors, retail zones, food courts.
Even the parking areas.
Even the parking areas. But the metrics they extract are what make it powerful. Yes, they count footfall by specific zones and times, but they're also calculating your dwell time.
How long you stand in one spot.
Exactly. They are monitoring queue lengths and wait times at specific counters. They're mapping out the movement flow to create real-time heat maps of crowd density. And perhaps most surprisingly, they're generating demographic guesstimates.
What does that mean?
They're extracting data on the general age group and gender distribution of the people in a given area.
That's a massive amount of data. It reminds me of how a website operates. When you shop online, you leave a digital footprint. The site tracks your mouse cursor. They know where you hover, what you click, how long you looked at a product.
Before abandoning your digital cart.
Right. It sounds like the Favorite Framework is taking that exact same concept and translating it into the physical world.
You're on the right track with the mouse cursor idea, but it's actually much more complex than that.
How so?
Well, a website generally tracks one isolated user session at a time. This system is tracking tens of thousands of cursors simultaneously. Your physical body moving through the mall is the data point, but the system has to make sense of how your movement interacts with everyone else's movement.
So it's mapping all those physical hovers and abandoned carts, but doing it in a highly dynamic, crowded environment. What's driving all of this, though? Before a mall operator goes through the immense trouble of wiring up hundreds of smart cameras and sensors, what is the core business objective?
What's fascinating here is how the Favorite Framework builds the foundation for this. In Layer 0, context and objectives, before any hardware is installed, management defines clear business targets.
Like making more money?
Higher conversion rates, obviously. But they also want to optimize the mix of tenants in the building and improve visitor satisfaction. On top of that, they tie this directly into ESG.
Environmental, social, and governance tracking.
Right. The goal isn't just to collect data for the sake of it. It's to use that data to increase tenant revenue by distributing foot traffic better and to make entirely data-driven leasing decisions.
Okay, so they have the business motive locked in. But how are they actually pulling this off from a technical standpoint? Layer 1, data acquisition. I know we mentioned cameras, but the proposal gets pretty specific about the types of hardware. It's not just standard CCTV feeds running to a back room, is it?
Not at all. They're utilizing AI-enabled CCTV at the edge.
We should define that.
Right. Edge computing means the processing happens on the device itself. And alongside the video analytics, they deploy parking sensors to track vehicle flow, environmental sensors monitoring temperature, and air quality.
They even mention Wi-Fi or BLE tracking.
Bluetooth Low Energy.
Yeah. That allows them to follow the anonymous movement patterns of the digital devices we all carry in our pockets.
Our smartphones.
I know what you might be thinking right now as a listener. If a mall is tracking my every move, my general age, my gender, and how long I look at a pair of sneakers, that sounds like a massive privacy concern.
The creep factor.
Exactly, the creep factor. The source text anticipates this, and it's a crucial detail to understand about how modern systems are built. The system does not store raw video footage in the cloud.
And we really need to emphasize why that matters. Sending massive 4K video streams of thousands of people to a centralized cloud server would be an absolute nightmare for bandwidth.
And super expensive.
Very expensive. But more importantly, it would be a massive liability for data privacy compliance.
And that's where the edge AI comes in. Because the artificial intelligence processing happens right there on the camera device itself on the edge of the network, the software just extracts the structured metadata.
It doesn't care about your face or your identity.
The metadata is just the behavioral numbers, the footfall counts, the dwell times, the density metrics. The camera analyzes the video frame, pulls those numbers, and then sends only that tiny packet of data securely to the favorite platform.
It's a very elegant solution to a complex problem. They send that data using standard protocols like HTTPS or MQTT.
Which is a super lightweight messaging protocol built specifically for the Internet of Things.
Precisely. By focusing entirely on patterns rather than personal identities, they eliminate the need to hoard identifiable information.
They aren't tracking you.
No. The system is inherently configured to process data anonymously. They aren't interested in tracking your individual biography. They are entirely focused on tracking the flow of the ecosystem.
So what does this all mean? We have all this anonymous metadata flying through the air via secure protocols, completely stripped of personal identity. Where does it actually go? Is there just a giant, unreadable spreadsheet sitting on a server somewhere?
That would defeat the purpose entirely. This brings us to layer 2, data management and visualization. The raw metadata flows into a centralized management platform that organizes these streams in real time.
So it turns numbers into pictures.
It translates millions of data points into highly visual dashboards. Picture an operations center where, instead of looking at raw camera feeds, the management team is looking at real-time occupancy levels broken down by specific zones.
So they have heat maps on their screen showing exactly where engagement is highest.
Yes, and analytical widgets comparing the foot traffic of a Tuesday morning to a Saturday holiday rush.
But even with a beautiful dashboard, a human being can only process so much information. A facility manager can't stare at a heat map 24/7 and manually calculate if the food court is getting too crowded.
Which is why visualization alone isn't the endgame. The framework takes that visualized data and feeds it into an intelligence layer, layer 3.
Intelligence and analytics.
Right. This is where the system essentially gets a brain. The text highlights some incredibly sophisticated AI capabilities that take the burden off human operators.
What kind of capabilities are we talking about?
The system can issue threshold-based alerts for overcrowding. It can generate automated notifications if a queue length at a specific checkout or a bathroom exceeds defined limits.
Yeah, so it knows when the lines are too long.
Exactly. It uses anomaly detection to flag highly unusual traffic patterns, like a sudden surge toward a specific exit. And it runs predictive modeling for peak hour forecasting.
It recognizes behavior patterns to help decision makers actually anticipate congestion before it happens rather than just reacting after a bottleneck has already formed.
The predictive element is huge.
The source proposal gives a really concrete example of how this intelligence is used for scenario analysis, and it shows just how much this changes the retail game. Let's say mall management is trying to figure out the impact of a seasonal sale.
A Black Friday event, for example.
Sure. In the past, they might just look at the total sales numbers at the end of the month. Now they can run the numbers to see exactly how that specific sale impacted dwell time in a specific wing of the building on an hourly basis.
Or consider the logistics of leasing. If they are considering moving a massive retail tenant, say a flagship electronics store, from the north wing to the south wing, they don't have to guess how it will affect the rest of the mall.
They can analyze exactly how that placement changes the visitor flow of the entire building.
It takes the guesswork completely out of store positioning strategies.
They can essentially correlate a specific marketing campaign or a specific store placement directly to footfall spikes.
Precisely. But sensing the environment and interpreting that data is ultimately useless if the building can't do anything about it.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Layer 4, decisions and actions. This is where the loop is closed, and the mall evolves from a passive structure into an intelligent environment that reacts to you dynamically.
The mall bites back, so to speak.
According to the proposal, the system doesn't just send emails to management, it triggers real-time automated actions. If a crowd density exceeds safety thresholds in a corridor, the system automatically escalates the issue, pinging mobile alerts directly to security or facility teams on the floor.
It creates a frictionless response mechanism. The building is managing its own safety protocols based on real-time data.
But the element that absolutely fascinated me was the dynamic digital signage. We've all seen those big digital map boards or advertising screens in malls.
The directory boards.
Yeah. Under this framework, the system can literally make adjustments to those digital signs on the fly to redirect foot traffic. If the AI detects that the main atrium is becoming a bottleneck, those signs might subtly change their displays or directional prompts to draw people down a different, emptier hallway.
It is quite literally managing the movement of the ecosystem in real time.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the implications of a responsive environment go far beyond just managing foot traffic or relieving a crowded hallway.
Let's look back at those ESG objectives we mentioned earlier: environmental, social, and governance. The mall can use this real-time occupancy data to fundamentally alter its physical operations, particularly its energy consumption.
How does tracking footfall translate to saving energy?
Think about the massive energy costs required to cool a 2 million square foot facility. By correlating exactly how many warm bodies are in a specific zone with the building's energy usage, the mall can automatically optimize the HVAC systems and the lighting.
Because humans generate heat.
Exactly. If a particular wing of the mall is empty on a Tuesday morning, the system knows it immediately because of the edge analytics. It can dynamically dial back the air conditioning and dim the lighting in just that wing. It responds directly to the presence of real footfall.
So it's not running on a static 9 to 5 timer anymore. The building is essentially breathing with the crowd, expanding and contracting its resource usage based on where the people actually are.
Exactly. And this not only saves the mall a massive amount of operational money, but it directly supports sustainability objectives. It allows for highly transparent, data-backed ESG reporting because they can prove exactly how efficiently they are managing their resources.
Let's bring this all back to you, the listener. You're the one actually walking through this intelligent environment. Why should you care about any of this edge AI or dynamic HVAC optimization?
That's the real question.
The favorite proposal breaks down the specific value and application of this technology, and it really highlights the benefits for two main groups, the shopper and the retail tenant.
Let's start with the shopper.
For you, the shopper, the ultimate goal is a frictionless experience. We've all had those frustrating mall trips where you're stuck behind a wall of people, waiting in endless lines, or sweating because the air conditioning can't keep up with the weekend crowd.
It's miserable.
By using real-time behavioral insights to manage congestion, redirect flow, and instantly adjust climate control based on crowd size, the space becomes fundamentally safer and more comfortable. You spend less time stuck in bottlenecks and more time actually moving smoothly through your day.
And for the retail tenants, the business is actually leasing the space. The value proposition is vital for their survival. Tenants today are demanding measurable performance metrics. If a brand is going to pay premium rent for a storefront, they want proof that the location is justified.
They want the receipts.
With this framework, mall operators can finally provide hard data.
They don't just say, trust us, it's a busy hallway.
Right. They can show a store exactly what the footfall is outside their door on a minute-by-minute basis.
Yeah.
They can provide data on the dwell time for their specific window displays, proving whether a new visual merchandising strategy is actually stopping people in their tracks.
It provides the hard numbers needed to justify rental rates, guide store optimization, and prove the effectiveness of marketing campaigns.
The mall can definitively say which promotions drive traffic and which zones require more activation.
It's a complete reimagining of the retail space. To synthesize our journey through the favorite insight framework today, the era of shopping malls operating on intuition and outdated quarterly reports is over.
Long gone.
To survive the pressure of e-commerce, physical retail spaces are deploying edge AI cameras and IoT sensors to track the physical world with the same precision that e-commerce sites use. But they're doing it in a way that aligns with modern data privacy.
Stripping away personal identity and focusing strictly on the anonymous metadata of the crowd.
The framework takes that massive stream of raw behavioral data, organizes it, turns it into intelligent, predictive insights, and then closes the loop by turning those insights into real-time physical decisions. It's adjusting signs, deploying resources, and changing the very climate of the building based on where you are standing.
This raises an important question about how we view the spaces we inhabit on a daily basis. The ability to sense visitor behavior in real time and convert it into decisive action fundamentally redefines what a commercial building is.
It's no longer just a passive container holding a collection of stores.
It is a responsive computing entity. The organizations that adopt this kind of framework are moving from mere observation to active environmental intelligence.
And I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over as we wrap up. We've just explored how physical structures, like shopping malls, can now sense our collective metadata. They can dynamically alter their lighting, their climate, and their digital signage in real time to optimize our behavior and herd our movements.
It's powerful stuff.
If that is true, are we still just walking passively through a building? Or are we actively, unconsciously programming the physical world around us with every single step we take? And if private shopping malls are already operating like this today, how long until entire public cities begin morphing around us in real time? Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Next time you step into a shopping mall, take a moment to look up at the digital signs and the air vents. You might just catch the building reacting to you. Catch you next time.